Blake Lively was exposed for lying about Justin Baldoni with leaked texts. Guys, wow. Justin's legal team plans to release every single message between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Okay, grab your popcorn because Blake Lively's new lawsuit against Justin Baldoni is blowing up in ways nobody expected. Turns out the truth might not be on Blake's side, and now Justin is dropping bombshell text messages that prove she has been hiding key details. And guess what? The plot just got even more thick. Fans and experts are starting to think there might have been more than just a professional relationship between Blake and Justin. Were they secretly in love? You won't believe this one. I've watched a bunch of videos on this, but my favorite has to be the C-SAN podcast. These ladies are so amazing, but they also just have great takes on everything. You should check them out. They both weighed in on how they felt about the situation, and to me, it seems like the most realistic out of all of the videos I've watched. One quote from Cerise says, "Now Justin Baldoni, he's not the richest man, and she is suing him. What is she trying to prove? One thing that I like, and this is just my business mind and not because I'm trying to shame her, but we're just giving you what we both learned. Justin has now fired back, and he is not suing her, at least not yet, but he is suing New York Times, and I think it's because when he sues them for bringing out a story without both sides, because by right they should have contacted him before they brought out any story, then he now has the right to take them to court and ask them for all of the records that she sent them. So that means text messages, emails, any recorded information, and anything that she has sent to them, he can now take and use in his lawsuit against the New York Times and quite possibly sue her eventually. So this is just a tiny piece of the video that they put out. It's actually 30 minutes long and it's juicy. So if you're curious about this drama, you can check out their video. Justin's legal team is ready to release every single text between him and Blake to prove she's lying about him. They've already leaked a bunch and whoa, it's not looking good for Blake. Apparently, she's been rewriting text, changing the context, trying to make herself look better. Justin isn't playing around anymore. He is coming for her. But here's where it gets really messy. Justin's team is also suggesting that other big names in Hollywood could be involved. Could Ryan Reynolds be next? There's talk that Justin's been throwing some serious shade at him behind the scenes. Is this why Ryan's been so heated about the whole thing? The drama is spiraling out of control. Let's talk about Blake for a second. I know she's got a legion of fans, and I'm a fan too. But her behavior recently, yikes. In one interview, when asked how fans should approach her after seeing her movie, she cracked a joke about giving her phone number and location. Really? A little empathy might have been more appropriate considering the serious themes of the movie. Fans weren't impressed. But wait, Blake isn't just making jokes. She's accusing Justin of starting a smear campaign against her, claiming he barged into her dressing room uninvited. Guess what? The text Justin released says otherwise. She actually invited him in. But there's more. Blake's lawsuit claims that Justin's PR team was working overtime to enter reputation, but her own texts directly contradict her accusations. Her legal team is looking worse by the minute. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering, does this mean Justin's totally innocent? Maybe not, but the evidence is piling up against Blake, and Justin's ready to release everything he's got to prove it. Blake Lively gets caught in another lie on camera.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. She's a producer on the film from the beginning to the end.
Wow. So one thing Blake wasn't truthful about was the fact that there was a professional on set there to help with romantic scenes, which was proven to be untrue.
You got your demons, spend seasons on the dark side of the moon.
There's a long way for the It Ends With Us drama to go before we can pull the plug on it. Right from the get-go, the film was under the pin of the public eye for trying to romanticize the story about DV. Then came the promotions, and Blake Lively's behavior in interviews was enough to make fans run as far as they could from the film. Now, even months after the film's release, drama has not left its side, with the actress filing a lawsuit against her co-star and director, Justin Baldoni.
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's situation just got crazier.
Blake Lively is taking legal action against her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni.
In her complaint, Blake Lively had a lot to say about Justin Baldoni's behavior towards her and the involvement or lack thereof of professionals on set who were supposed to be there to help choreograph romantic scenes.
You know, right when we started pre-production, we started searching for our intimacy coordinator, and we ended up having 2 intimacy coordinators.
Justin Baldoni hit back with his own side of the story, but there is still a lot to see before the case comes to a conclusion. Recently, a viral video from the film's promotion has resurfaced on social media where Blake Lively talked about romantic coordinators on the set of the film. Colleen Hoover, Blake Lively, and Brandon Sklenar sit down for an interview with Access Hollywood as the conversation shifted to the actress's romance with the leading actors. The interviewer pointed out how Lively was sometimes directing the romantic scenes on her own.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. So, yeah.
The interviewer also brought up behind-the-scenes clips which showed Blake teaching Justin how to pull her in for a scene.
We're teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen
this?
As the interview resurfaced, people had a lot to say about Blake, from calling her entitled to insufferable. Fans clearly have a strong opinion of Blake. This isn't all she was called either. Needless to say, Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni has got the entire world talking about who's right and who's wrong. Only time will tell how it ends for them. As this saga between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni continues to unfold, it's clear that there's so much more to the story than meets the eye. From accusations of mishandled romantic scenes to ongoing legal battles.
Justin Baldoni sues the New York Times for $250 million over the outlet's Blake Lively harassment story.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
It's hard to know who to believe. Blake's claims about the lack of professionals on set seem to be unraveling, especially with the resurfaced footage showing her actively directing scenes herself. Fans are split, with some backing Blake, others questioning her version of events.
Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively for lying about him.
You guys, this Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively situation just got crazier.
Justin Baldoni sues the New York Times for $250 million over the outlet's Blake Lively story.
The two stars on It Ends With Us did not have a smooth sailing relationship. The tension started when the two co-stars were making headlines in August when their movie premiered. It started with fans noticing Baldoni wasn't following any castmates. He also didn't do press with them and did not walk the red carpet with them as well. We have seen both sides to the story. Apparently Baldoni made Lively uncomfortable on set. Others claim that he felt sidelined over a creative struggle. Okay, so after Blake Lively filed a complaint against Justin Baldoni for doing things to her that she did not want, she officially sued him on December 31st. The same day, he filed a $2.5 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times over its coverage of Lively's complaint. Fast forward, he's ready to clap back at Lively directly. His lawyer, Brian Friedman, was quick to tell all on the NBC News interview, and when asked if he's planning to sue Lively, he said absolutely yes. And he also mentioned the lawsuit will drop soon.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
Now, this lawyer is not playing games, guys. He was ready to bring out the receipts and show people the facts to let the public decide who's in the right. He added, "We plan to release every single text message between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there." Now, I mean, I guess this is a great approach, guys, right? Like, if the receipts are out at this point, where can there be lies, right? Like, we want to see the truth. We want to know what's going on. We want to see who said what, and hopefully nothing is, touched or changed to make someone look better. We just want legit, raw truth. So, what can we expect besides this? Well, along with Baldoni, the plaintiffs will also include his publicist Jennifer Abel and Melissa Natha, and his production company, Wayfarer Studios. But not only will the lawsuit be against Lively, it will also be against the actress, her publicist Leslie Sloan, and Baldoni's former publicist Stephanie Jones. So everybody is going down who deserves to, I guess you can say. It's pretty crazy because we don't know what to think. Now with old interviews with Lively, people have resurfaced them and they're not too happy. Apparently she was a nightmare to journalists. But here's the plot twist. Lively claimed that this online slander from Baldoni's PR team was an alleged smear campaign to destroy her reputation with social manipulation. And I mean, if this was the case, it kind of did work, because I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing a lot of hate towards Blake. I mean, she used to be the it girl, she used to be loved by everyone, no drama. Her and Ryan were like the couple that everyone likes, super power couple. Now it seems like everyone's watching these interviews from before and questioning her character. And if Baldoni's team managed to do this, then that is crazy. So, now it's a lot of he said and she said, and, we don't know what's going on until all these receipts come out and, we know who the real culprit is, and things are gonna get really messy.
Looking through Blake Lively's past isn't shining such a great light on her. Let's look at some moments when Blake Lively's behavior went too far.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
Although you may have believed that the Gossip Girl co-stars were closest friends, the reality couldn't be further from the truth. Before delivering her statement at PallyFest in 2008, Blake Lively is shown in the rediscovered interview participating in a panel discussion with Leighton Meester and the other Gossip Girl cast members. She was disclosing the promises the producers of Gossip Girls had given her in order to guarantee her role as Serena on the show. She explained that in the books, Chuck Bass had a pet monkey, something she wasn't keen on.
Another promise was no pet monkey.
So she admitted that she made them promise there would be no pet monkey. She continued, Chuck has a pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be a part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. She then pointed directly to Leighton and joked, well, I got a few of them. Leighton was offended by the remark, rightfully so, and Penn Badgley and Chase Crawford glanced at the ground awkwardly as the audience chuckled.
And then I got a few of them.
When none of her co-stars laughed, she exclaimed, come on, it was a joke, Lord have mercy.
Come on, it was a joke.
Not a very good joke. A tweet went viral which showed an image of Blake Lively giving a quote to a journalist where she says a term widely accepted to be not very kind to those who've transitioned. Blake Lively talked to Elle magazine about her hopes for her future children and what they might wear while she was filming Gossip Girl. The quote says, I hope to have a few girls one day. If not girls, they better be, because I have some amazing shoes and bags that need to be appreciated. Later in another video, she repeated the word. You read the gossip magazines and everybody is dating everyone. Everyone hates everyone. Everybody's had tons of plastic surgery and we're actually men, and it's just like you don't listen to the rumors.
What is the next 5 years of...
Goodness gracious. At the Boone Hall plantation in South Carolina, which housed 9 worker huts during the owning of people, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds tied the knot in 2012. In an Instagram post from 2020, Blake and Ryan expressed their regret about the plantation wedding. They wrote, we're ashamed that in the past we've allowed ourselves to be uninformed about how deeply rooted systematic unrest is. We want to educate ourselves about other people's experiences and talk to our kids about everything, all of it, especially our own complicity. It turns out that Blake Lively has been making statements in interviews for years, in between all of the terrible It Ends With Us interviews. Journalist Kirsty Flaw shared the 8-year-old footage from when she interviewed Blake, admitting sitting down with Blake Lively and her co-star Parker Posey for Cafe Society in 2016 is the most uncomfortable interview situation I have ever experienced. Is it not okay to congratulate someone on their pregnancy or to ask another woman about costumes she's wearing in the film? When Kirsty tries to ask polite questions and make good comments to the two in the nightmare interview footage, Blake brusquely rejects her. She congratulates Blake Lively on her pregnancy, saying, "Congrats on your little bump." Then, even though Flaw isn't pregnant, Blake Lively responds to the journalist with the same remark. Just super passive aggressive. During an interview about It Ends With Us, the host asked Blake Lively how people might approach her regarding the film's delicate and deeply personal topics. He inquired, "Most of us who are lucky enough to run into a celebrity in public get only a few brief moments to maybe speak to you guys. But for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people and they're going to want to tell you about their lives. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, they come across you in public and they want to talk to you, what's the best way for them to talk to you about this?" She then joked about releasing her phone number to fans rather than taking the topic seriously, wondering why she wouldn't just location share at that point. In response, she said, "That's like asking for my address or my phone number, location share. I could just location share you and then we could just," before she started trailing off while laughing. She continues, "I'm a Virgo, so every time I'm like, are we talking logistics, emotionally?" Regarding her interview, one Reddit user shared their comments, writing, "What the heck is wrong with her? This is just willful ignorance and lack of self-awareness from a fully grown woman. Is she even aware of what the movie is promoting? Does she know what it's about? The cognitive dissonance is off the charts at this point." She reduced the valid question the interviewer asked her to a flippant joke. "I genuinely feel bad for her co-star, and you can clearly see he is uncomfortable, but since they've all thrown in their lot with Blake and her annoying husband, they are stuck with this mess. I honestly appreciate Justin for being the only person to address and tackle the DV themes on this press tour.